All right, let's dive in. Today we're exploring a conflict that's quietly moving from the front pages of newspapers right into your digital wallet.
For years, we've all been hearing about the US-China trade war, right? A big battle fought with tariffs and giant containers on cargo ships. But here's the thing, that was just Act 1. The sources we're analyzing today argued the real conflict, the one that's going to define the next decade, has gone silent, and it's gone digital.
So how in the world did we get here? Well, the story really starts with this big shift from an old-school war over physical goods to a brand new one for financial control. And this wasn't just a small change. It was a complete swap-out of the weapons of choice.
The difference is pretty stark when you look at it. The old war was fought with these blunt instruments, right? Tariffs on physical goods. It was loud, it was public, and frankly, it was expensive for everybody. The new war, so much more subtle. It's being fought over digital standards, payment systems, and this new kind of digital money called stablecoins. It's a battle for the very architecture of how money moves around the planet.
You can actually see this shift happening in real time. The first part of this decade was all about the fallout from those high tariffs and the inflation they caused. But look ahead to 2025. The whole conversation changes. We're expecting a US Stablecoin Act to pass. And at the same time, China's digital currency is hitting major milestones. This is pretty much the starting gun for this new financial Cold War.
And if you want to know why this shift is happening, you just have to look at the price tag of the old way of doing things. The source material estimates that all that tariff-related inflation was costing the average American family around $3,800 a year. That's just not sustainable, which forced a pivot to a smarter, more strategic battlefield.
Okay, so how is the US responding to all this? Well, Washington's game plan isn't just about playing defense for the dollar, it's about upgrading it for the digital age. You can think of it as dollar dominance, version 2.0.
America's new weapon of choice is the regulated stablecoin. But hey, this isn't just any crypto. We are talking about a digital dollar issued by major banks and, this is the most important part, fully backed by US Treasury bonds. This move directly connects the new world of digital currency to the bedrock of American financial power.
America's plan is basically a three-pronged attack. Financially, these new stablecoins are designed to create massive demand for U.S. government debt. Technologically, the plan is to use powerful institutions like the IMF to write the global rules for digital money. And geopolitically, it's all about building a Five Eyes Plus alliance of friendly countries that all use this new dollar-based digital standard.
And the financial prize here is just immense. The sources we're looking at project that fully baking stablecoins into the global system could jack up demand for U.S. government bonds by a staggering $2 trillion. That would push down U.S. borrowing costs and basically lock in the dollar's top spot for another generation.
But of course, America isn't playing this game by itself. China has its own incredibly ambitious plan. They're not just trying to compete, they're trying to build an entirely parallel system, a kind of digital Silk Road for the 21st century.
China's key piece of tech here is the eCNY, the digital yuan, and it is the polar opposite of the U.S. approach. Instead of being issued by private banks, it comes directly from the central bank. It's built to be fast, super cheap, and to completely sidestep the U.S.-controlled SWIFT system for international payments.
China's countermove is almost a perfect mirror image of America's. On the financial side, they are pushing the eCNY's adoption like crazy. Technologically, they're working to create their own digital currency standards through organizations like the ISO. And geopolitically, they're using their existing networks, like the Belt and Road Initiative and BRICS, to get a whole coalition of countries into their new financial ecosystem.
The scale of this ambition is just breathtaking. Projections show that cross-border transactions using the digital yuan could absolutely explode, going from maybe $30 billion in 2025 to $1.5 trillion by 2027. This is a serious challenge to the dollar's grip on global trade.
So what happens when these two massive continent-sized strategies finally collide? Well, the analysis in our source material paints a really clear, if, kind of unsettling picture of where we're probably heading.
Based on the models, the most likely outcome, with a 50% chance, is what's being called the pessimistic scenario. Now, this isn't a shooting war, but a long, grinding Cold War fought in the digital trenches. A world split into two competing financial and tech blocks.
And what does that actually mean for you and me? To put it simply, it means a less efficient world.
It means higher costs for businesses trying to deal with two different systems, lower economic growth for everyone, and the kind of stubborn inflation that we've all gotten a little too familiar with lately.
But that 50% scenario isn't the whole story. The analysis also points out 3 low-probability but extremely high-impact black swan events. These are the wild cards that could take this digital Cold War and turn it into a full-blown global crisis, practically overnight.
There are 3 distinct ways things could go very wrong very fast. The first is if a major stablecoin collapses. The second is a direct cyber attack on a rival's financial system, what they're calling a digital Pearl Harbor. And the third is a geopolitical crisis that severs a critical tech supply chain, like the one for advanced computer chips.
Take that stablecoin collapse, for example. If a major privately issued stablecoin were to just fail, the models predict it could trigger a global credit freeze, tipping the entire world into a recession and wiping out anywhere from 3 to 5% of global GDP.
The digital Pearl Harbor scenario is even more frightening. A successful, paralyzing cyber attack on either the US dollar payment system or China's digital currency network could instantly stop global trade in its tracks. Not slow it down, halt it.
And finally, a supply chain break. A crisis that stops the flow of advanced semiconductors for more than 6 months would paralyze the global tech industry. The production of everything from cars to smartphones to AI servers, it would all just grind to a halt.
So, this isn't just about geopolitics. This is about the fundamental rails that our entire global economy runs on. The conflict is moving from tariffs you read about to tokens you might one day use. And it's creating a divide that could force everyone, countries, companies, and yes, even individuals, to choose a side. The ultimate question this analysis leaves us with is a personal one. When the dust settles, in a world with 2 financial internets, which one will you be logged into?